I worked as a custodian at a middle school for nearly 5 years, mostly on the overnight shift. I'd clock in around 10 p.m. and stay until just before sunrise, when the school buses started rolling in. In the beginning, I actually enjoyed the job. No noisy kids sprinting through hallways, no teachers complaining, no constant interruptions. Just me, my cart, and the quiet. But over time, that quiet started to feel wrong. At night, the school didn't just feel empty, it felt lifeless. The building made sounds you never noticed during the day. Deep creaks, low groans, like it was breathing on its own. When you're the only person inside, every small noise hits different. A locker popping open or pipes knocking in the walls could easily sound like footsteps. I trained myself to ignore most of it, except for one place, the basement. The school was old, built back in the 1950s, and the basement stretched under almost half of it. It wasn't anything like the bright classrooms upstairs. Down there, it was a maze of concrete hallways, storage rooms, exposed pipes, and hanging wires. Some rooms were packed with old desks, others with outdated textbooks or broken furniture. It always smelled damp and moldy. The fluorescent lights flickered constantly, when they even worked. Most nights, a flashlight was the only way to see. When I first started, one of the older custodians warned me. He told me to stay out of the basement unless I absolutely had to. He laughed and called it haunted. I laughed too. But even that first week, something about that place made my skin crawl. Sometimes, just walking past the basement door was enough to send a chill through me. For almost 2 years, I avoided going down there. Then one night, my task list said I had to bring up folding chairs for an event. My stomach sank immediately. Those chairs were only stored in the basement. I stood at the top of the stairwell for a full minute, debating whether I could push it to the morning. But I didn't want to look lazy, so I grabbed my flashlight and opened the heavy door. Every step echoed loudly as I went down, my boots sounding way too loud in the silence. At the bottom, I flipped the switch. Only a few lights came on, leaving most of the hallway swallowed in darkness. The air smelled like wet cement. I turned on my flashlight and started walking. The chairs were in the second storage room on the left. The first room was stacked with old desks all the way to the ceiling. The second door was rusted and let out a painful screech when I opened it. Inside, the smell of dust and old wood hit me. The folding chairs were piled unevenly against the wall. I grabbed as many as I could, 4 at once, trying to make fewer trips. That's when I froze. From somewhere in the hallway, I heard it. A slow, dragging sound, like someone sliding their shoe across the floor. I stopped breathing. The sound faded. I leaned out and swept the flashlight down the hallway. Nothing. My heart was pounding. I told myself it was just pipes, or maybe I'd moved a chair without realizing it. I carried the chairs toward the stairs. Halfway there, a freezing gust of air hit my face. It didn't make sense. The basement was always warm and stale. This felt like standing in front of an open freezer. I scanned the hallway again. Nothing looked different. I forced myself to keep going, set the chairs down, and went back. When I re-entered the storage room, something felt wrong. The chairs looked shifted, like they'd moved while I was gone. I told myself I was overthinking it and picked up another load. As I turned to leave, I heard it again. A heavy thump, followed by scraping. This time, it came from farther down the hallway. My flashlight shook as I aimed it forward. About 20 feet away, a classroom door stood slightly open. My stomach dropped. I knew I hadn't touched it. The school was locked. I was alone. Every instinct screamed at me to run. Instead, I stood there, clinging to weak excuses, air pressure, loose hinges, anything. I rushed the chairs to the stairwell, then came back empty-handed, flashlight ready. The door was still open. I walked toward it slowly, my footsteps echoing. My voice cracked as I called out, "Hello? Anyone there?" No answer. I shoved the door open and shined my light inside. The room was empty. Dusty equipment, stacked boxes, thick cobwebs. I stepped in for just a second. Then I heard it again. Right behind me, a dragging shuffle in the hallway. I spun around. The flashlight cut through the darkness, nothing there. But I felt it, that heavy pressure, the feeling of being watched. My skin went cold. I backed away, never turning my back, and headed for the stairs. I grabbed the chairs and ran up 2 steps at a time. I didn't stop until I reached the main hallway, gasping for air. I locked the basement door, even though I wasn't supposed to. A week later, while mopping above the stairwell, I heard 3 loud bangs from below, slow and deliberate. Then the door rattled, like something was pushing from the other side. I didn't open it. After that, I never went into the basement alone again. To this day, when I think about those slow, dragging footsteps, my stomach still turns.